been a crazy week in ABL Season 9 and the playoffs. Two teams already in the semifinals, and who would have thought that it was the two lowest seeded teams entering the quarterfinals who would make their way first to the semifinals. And now the Singapore Slingers facing the Macau Black Bears on the road, trying to be the third team to book a ticket into the semifinals. Good day, basketball fans. We're coming to you from the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center in Foshan, China for Game 2 of the quarterfinals between the Singapore Slingers and the Macau Black Bears. Gus Sulit and TK Kotsumboon here. TK, talk to us about what happened in this series. Did you really expect Singapore to take that first game and what Macau needs to do here?
Well, in the first game, the Singapore Slingers, they've been doing what they've done all season. They've gone to the post. They have John Fields, who's been dominant inside. And also they have one of the better local inside players in Delvin Doe. So they were just going through the strengths. And fortunately for them, that's an area that the Macau Black Bears have struggled to contain. That is the opponents in the post. They only have Ryan Watkins as their major big man. And that's something that Coach Foshan has really got to figure out a way around to try to stop, or maybe force turnovers to get them in transition and get them in the recourse.
Absolutely, like you said, he has no other recourse but to come up with a solution, with a plan, because if they don't provide, if they don't take the W here today at home, this will be the last game they play in the Season 9 of the Asean Basketball League. Now, before we get started with an all-important Game 2, it's time, as always, to meet the players from both squads.
You did everything you could. We could live with that. Alright, and I know if we do that, we gonna get this win. Everybody lock in, everybody do their job. We gotta get everybody more involved. The three Americans, we know we gotta get everybody touching. Everybody play hard on defense. We're gonna be alright. Hey, this team is not better than us. I don't think anybody's sitting here thinking we can't win. We should win. They're not better than us, alright? Let's go. It all comes down to this. Everybody leave it all out there. Energy from every fucking body. All right? Everybody. Together on three. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Here we go, Game 2 about to begin inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center. Going back to Game 1, EK, what did you see there? How was Singapore able to set the tone?
Singapore, again, they just kept going. John Fields barely missed from the field. Neither did Delvin Doe. They just kept pounding it down into the paint. And the Macau Black Bears couldn't respond. They get into the stride if the Singapore Slingers just continue to shoot that well from the field. I recall it was 66%. from the field. That's something difficult to recover from, just to be able to retaliate on the other end if you have to start your possession from the baseline every time.
Absolutely. And Jerem Young, as impressive as he has been all season long for the Singapore Slingers, he actually took a back seat in that game with John Fields and Xavier Alexander controlling the show for the Slingers.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Singapore Slingers. All of their three imports, they're ready to take a back seat for the other two to step up. It's interchangeable, and when you have an unselfish leader like Xavier Alexander, he's just willing to take a step back and just set up the other teammates. Like in a previous game against the Macau Black Bears, Xavier Alexander had only 13 points, but he was able to record a triple-double, and that's just him taking a step back and just looking for his other teammates to set them up.
As you see John Fields on your screen, Singapore Slingers, the only remaining team who has not changed imports from the very first game they played here in Season 9. What do you see in that mix that makes it so potent?
Well, that's the thing about the Slingers and their strength throughout all the 9 seasons in the APL. They have continuity, and that is an underrated aspect of the game. Sure, some teams like to change it up, like to upgrade their imports just to get a little bit of an edge against other teams, but for a team to use the same lineup, get to know each other, get familiar with each other, that's an upgrade as the season goes as well, and something that the Singapore Slingers have done well this season.
Now for the Macau Black Bears, they have made some changes, but mostly really because of some injuries that hit them. Anthony Tucker is in the building here. You'll see him in the bench of the Macau Black Bears, but he has been, and he was replaced by the Warwick Spencer towards the latter part of the elimination round. And Spencer and McKinney still a lethal combo, as arguably as lethal as a Tucker-McKinney tandem. But of course, there are changes that had to be made. Do you see that as maybe one of the factors that maybe hurt Macau towards in the recent outings that they had?
Of course, it's an unfortunate event for Anthony Tucker to suffer from an injury like he did at the time he did, but the bigger problem with the Macau Black Bears right now is that their rotation in the starting lineup, aside from the other 3 imports, it's been a carousel of players. This game they're starting Derek King and Chong Jin-sang, who have started only 3 games this entire season. So it feels like they're still trying to figure out how to start the games, and that's something that the Macau Black Bears have really got to figure out here in this game, because if they don't get it right, it could be their last of the season.
Exactly. And we saw some games before where they would start with Nathan Yu. Derek King is more or less a busy figure in terms of the starting lineup, but you're right. Liu Zihao had stints on that starting lineup. Of course, Lai Ka-tong, one of their more dependable bigs, and even recently acquired Jenning Leung started for them in some games, but as he said, Coach Mu Jinshan will roll today with Chang Jong-chan, Derek King, the Warwick Spencer, Ryan Watkins, and Mike McKinney. Now McKinney, here's the thing. One of the key points that Singapore has done positively, imagine Macau was not beat the Slingers in all of the games, all 3 games they played this season. One key factor, they are the only team that has limited Mike McKinney to below 50% shooting in all the games that they've played.
And that's such a tough job to do, to limit a scorer like McKinney to that kind of efficiency. But in Singapore Slingers, they're such a good defensive team, and they really know how to play defense, and they do their scouting really well.
Well, speaking of defense, Macau getting a stop in that very first possession. It might be too early to tell, but from the energy they brought out in that very first possession, making sure no passing lanes are easy, looks like they really are out to get a win here and to keep themselves alive in Season 9 of the ABL. Only 2 seconds on the shot clock. Kian puts it up. It's off. Alexander with a board.
Again, the Singapore Slingers were kind of really locking it down, limiting the options of the Macau Black Bears. And that's a good sign for Coach Neo Beng Sheng early in this game.
Singapore starting with Desmondo Delvingo with the basketball, and their 3 imports, Alexander, Fields, and Young.
And that's a good matchup that I like the Singapore Slingers going on early. Chong Jin-sang is known more for his offense. That's why he's in the starting lineup, and I'd like to see Delvingo attack him more on this side of the court.
John Fields, you have to be very busy on defense when you're guarding him. He's a guy who can dominate inside, but you give him some space, he hits that kind of a jumper. 2-0. Singapore ahead. McKinney creates some separation. Spencer from outside. The Warwick getting started early.
Well, right there, I feel like Jaron Young did a good job on McKinney. He's such a good defensive player, and that's a fun matchup to watch.
A foul whistle there. It's called on McKinney. A bit too eager. See, that is where you need to balance it out. You know you need a win. You come out with overflowing energy. You got to stay in the game, especially for someone as important as Mike McKinney. Spencer hitting that 3 from earlier. Fields carving out space. Out to Desmond. Oh, with the 3.
That's going to be a problem for Macau Black Bears if they leave Desmond O and he starts making those shots, because those are the points that the Slingers are an advantage if they gain in this kind of situation.
And I think it also traces back to what you said about Singapore building up on that chemistry, not changing imports, not mixing up a lot of their lineup. These guys have been playing together for what, maybe 5 months, 6 months almost. And that's just the length of the season. Of course, they prepared for it maybe a couple more months before the season began. And now Fields understands that, oh, it's an option he can go to when he's being doubled or if that shot opens up.
Yeah, the key word there is trust. And if you stay together for that long, and maybe especially a guy like Xavier Alexander who's been with the team for 4 years, you gain trust for your other local players. Sometimes they might underperform, sometimes they have their dry spells, but if you trust each other enough, you can get some great performances out of the local players.
Well, Fields right now leading the charge for the Singapore Slingers. So far responsible for all of the 6 points that they have scored. He scored on a jumper early on to get things started for them, and then assisted on a Desmond O 3-pointer, and then 2 free throws this time. Their last game also performed very, very well for his team in that big win they got. He had 31 points and 9 rebounds, had 5 assists. But check that, 4 rebounds and 3 assists.
A nice layup there by Derek King, just taking the ball from the baseline, going straight at his defender, getting 2 points for the Black Bears.
Young could not get it that time. Rebound by Watkins. Spencer, he will be fouled. Now the rule is you have to give the offensive player some space to turn and maybe face his basket. Cannot impede his path immediately.
And Desmond O, he's an aggressive defender. Sometimes he gets caught in those situations.
7-5 the score right now. Slingers on top. McKinney makes his move. Tian to King. They go down low to Watkins. This is a very interesting matchup. Watkins versus Fields. Ryan trying to get advantage. Fall away shot, no good. Fields with a rebound. Desmond O tries away from the 3. And look at Singapore move that basketball very fluidly. But it kind of stops with Delvin Go, and I don't think Xavier Alexander was happy about that shot.
Yeah, but still all 5 players were able to touch the ball on that side. As here, Mike McKinney finally gets his first shot. I was about to say how well the Slingers were doing of keeping McKinney away from getting open situations, and he scores immediately.
But it even looked like he was looking to pass initially, and then at the very last second said to himself, okay, I'll just take this shot, and he gets the 2 points. Desmond swinging it out. John Fields, baseline J again, no good. Watch out for Delvin Go and Chan. Some pushes there. The Warwick has advantage against Desmond though. Go ready to help. Chan Jong Chan open from outside. Maybe a step out of his comfort zone.
Desmond O, though, being assigned to the Warwick Spencer, that's going to be a heavy task for him, but just shows you how much Coach Neil trusts his defender.
What a play there for the Singapore Slingers, getting an easy lay-in for Xavier Alexander.
That was way too easy for the Macau Black Bears to allow. You just got to put a body on a guy that's running towards the zone like that.
That's the 3rd assist for Singapore. And a turnover this time for the Black Bears. That's going to be the 2nd, and both of them in the same fashion. They committed errant passes that did not connect between 2 teammates.
Yeah, but for the Macau Black Bears, it just seems like their ball rotation has been a bit more difficult. They're forced into more difficult passes. On the other side here, the Slingers are just moving the ball around, getting it to where they want it.
Nice pass there for Alexander, feeding Fields for the jam.
Just showing how fluid they are playing with each other. Just that tap pass, you barely have to look. He just knows where he is.
And he recognized that the help was coming. And because, okay, now you mentioned earlier Spencer being guarded by Desmondo, which could be an advantage for Macau. And we'll head to a stoppage, but I'm interested in another matchup that allowed this fantastic jam for John Fields. A timeout now called. The Singapore Slingers up by 4, 11-7.
The screen must be lower on point. 你们打那个下来上的往我这打，那个防的很大。23号描述的，打那个牛角下人的往我这儿。Points down. Hey, stay on the 3-point line. Yeah, don't screen here. Bring him down and execute. Okay. Now we go one time to Tian's side. Tian is running, and you replace on top because he will stay. Yeah. Okay. Find Tian. I want here, he on this side. Tian is here, you are here, rolling, okay? Mike, you have the ball, okay? Good. Hey, defensively stay strong, get the rebound, okay? Let's go.
Xavier Alexander, John Fields, and Jaron Young off to an excellent start here in Game 2. They are looking to close things out here inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center. Right now it's being the home court of the Macau Black Bears, but pretty soon, TK, it's gonna be the home of the World Cup.
Yeah, everyone's looking forward to that. It's just a great venue, such a great atmosphere. Glad that the ABL gets one of the first touches here.
Absolutely. 2 seconds left for Macau. Turnover, Young picking the ball up. Bothered by McKinney. Alexander with an easy finish. And now the Singapore Slingers have assisted on their last 4 made field goals.
Yeah, that's been the difference so far. 5 assists for the Singapore Slingers. The Macau Black Bears only have 1.
McKinney to Watkins, will try from deep. Ryan Watkins strokes it.
That might open up a few things, but still the Macau Black Bears need to rotate the ball a bit better.
That's going to be a traveling violation on Fields, and he's guilty of it. Watkins doing a good job of just staying in front of his man. Take a look at this again, you know. You cannot turn the ball over against the Singapore Slingers because all 3 of their imports have the capacity to run the floor full length, and it's so difficult to stop them. Oh, gets the ball taken away from him. Spencer. Tian stopped on his tracks. To Mike McKinney getting creative. Dish out to Spencer, short on the triple. Another running start for Singapore. He sent it to the corner, Desmondo. To Jaron Young, straight away, no good. Ball bounces back to the hands of Alexander, and Fields muscles his way in.
Nice pass there by Alexander down just to get Fields in a good position for the power move.
Right now, John Fields dominating his matchup against Ryan Watkins. King attacking, carving out space for himself. McKinney leaving it for Spencer, but Warwick wasn't exactly ready for it. And what we're seeing here, TK, a lot of times, the Macau Black Bears forced to use up their entire shot clock, and this is the first time that buzzer sounds on them.
Yeah, the Singapore Slingers defense has just been suffocating, just locking up the options, just sticking to their man, making each pass so difficult. The thing about to worry is, are they prepared to do this in the long run? Is their conditioning up to it? Because it's been a long season, and even though they're set up to play this way, they might get gassed out.
Alexander almost got it to fall, but the X-Man will take 2 freebies instead. Xavier Alexander it's almost become normal for him to get near a triple-double, and that's what he did in game 1.
That's the standards he set. His average line is just almost right there, around 28-7. He's coming into every game, ready to do a little bit of everything as he's done for the past 4 years. That's why he's one of the best imports in this league right now, a runner candidate for the MVP award, as he's been every year. Just a great player, and that's why the Singapore Slingers just keep on re-signing him.
And it's incredible if you take a look at the minutes he averages per game every single season. He's closing on 40 minutes a game. And perhaps that's also why he's become the leading scorer of the ABL in history, not just this season. McKinney gets clipped. That is one thing Mike McKinney is good at.
And that's going to be a big deal if Jaren Young picks up a foul or two, because he's going to have to give up some space to Mike McKinney on offense. And if you give space to McKinney, he's going to pay you.
Young even lucky that that three-pointer did not fall in. And what we've seen from McKinney is that once you get a couple of shots in, that confidence really builds up and it could snowball into something big. We saw him do that in one of the games played here inside the GBA Stadium against San Miguel a la Pilipinas, where he just erupted after struggling to open the game up.
Well, that wasn't just one game, though. That was a period of 10+ games.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was just on a tear. Anything he shot, any drive he made just seemed to went in. Just one of the better scoring stretches we've ever seen in the ABL.
Absolutely, but right now, you know, that's history, as McKinney will need to find a way to keep his Macau Black Bears alive. They force the miss. Mike picks the ball up. McKinney to Spencer. De Warwick. High looping shot is good.
Tempo's starting to pick up, and Macau's got to love this speed right now.
That is the style of play. Young will miss. Alexander getting that board against everybody. And Liu Zihao forced to give up a foul there.
Great strong move by John Field to recognize that Ryan Watkins was already out of position trying to get that rebound. Just took it straight to the paint. And at the very least, he's going to get a foul out of that move.
Oh, Liu is not a light player. He's very strong and he has the size to battle against bigs here in the league. But John Fields can carry most of the defenders that have been thrown at him this entire season. That's what he has shown.
Such a big, strong guy, and he's pretty quick on his feet as well. Just looking at that move he's taking to the basket.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Jennings Leong checking into the game. 19-14, the score right now. Singapore Slingers ahead. Liu finds an opening from the corner, no good. Watkins, the offensive rebound, flips it over, Fields and in.
It was a bit interesting from the Slingers. They're starting to put a little bit of a 1-2-2 press up to the half court. And that kind of opened up the space in the center, in the middle there, which Ryan Watkins got the ball and was able to punish the defense with 2 points.
A traveling violation called again on the Slingers. This time it's Delvin Go.
A bit of a slow start here by Delvin Go. He hasn't yet to score. It's a turnover. He's already missed a shot. But in this previous series against the Black Bears, he's done a pretty good job. Already has a 2010 game as well.
You have to love the aggressiveness right now, TK, of the Macau Black Bears. They keep on attacking the inside, not settling for outside shots, not really risking anything, as their lives, their campaign on the line in this game. Lim. Rejected there by 2 defenders. And that ball is stripped away cleanly by McKinney.
Good aggressiveness on defense by the Black Bears. You got to realize that this is a do-or-die game, and that's how you do it.
In situations like where the Black Bears are in, they just cannot take anything for granted. Watkins, another board for him. Leading rebounder of the season. McKinney posts back. He wants his one-on-one against Lim. Gets a foul whistled.
McKinney, once he saw that Lim was taking up on him, he just waved everybody off. He wants that matchup. He knows he has the speed and also the size advantage over Lim as well. And he's just trying to take advantage of it.
That's the right thing to do, and it's what got the Black Bears back in this game. They only trail by 1. They can even take the lead in this possession. Liu missed his first 2 shots, now missed his first 3 shots from outside. Alexander to Hanbin, specialty of the house, bottom of the net.
And that's one guy on the Singapore Slingers you do not want to leave open. They're probably their best 3-point shooter right now, and Xavier Alexander just delivered a great pass in transition for the 3.
But even in his earlier years in the ABL, Hanbin has been known to be a shooter. Warwick Spencer gets it right back.
And you can see the aggression in attack. Whoa.
Oh! A 3-pointer from half court. Just as Macau was celebrating the triple from Spencer, a long bomb launched
Out of nowhere.
They wave it off though. They say the 3-pointer will not count. Coach Neo Bengshang, of course, arguing his case. Those could be 3 points that they will need towards the end of this game if this stays to be this close. It's only a 1-point lead for the Singapore Slingers, 22-21 at the end of the first period.
Okay, go back, everyone. Go back. Pressure on ball. Can rebound. Back. No easy passes. All right.
It's the start of the second quarter here in Foshan, China. The Macau Black Bears trying to fend off elimination as they trail this best-of-3 series 1-0. Warwick Spencer ending the first period with a 3-pointer. He scored 10 of the 21 points of the Black Bears, but on the side of the Singapore Slingers, there's a guy who also led away for them, John Fields, with 10 of the 22 points of the Singapore Slingers. He even assisted on a bucket. They made things happen for his team.
Yeah, but towards the end of the first quarter, we saw the Macau Black Bears benefiting from how they were attacking the basket aggressively, and it's starting to open up more open threes like the one that Spencer hit to end the quarter.
McKinney only with 4 points, but he does have 4 assists. And has only taken 1 attempt. A miss there for Liu. Singapore quickly to their side. Go coming off a very decent performance in game 1. Trying to work against Liu. Delvin seems to be forcing his shots here in the second game though.
But that was also a point of Macau just spacing themselves well on defense, just not letting the Slingers move around as they were doing earlier in the game, and it kind of left go there on an island with Liu, and he had to take that shot.
Inside pass to Watkins. Had 3 red shirts surrounding him. And a foul called on the Slingers. It will stay with Macau with 11 seconds on their shot clock.
That was a difficult situation for Ryan Watkins to get the ball there. Down low with 3 guys on him. You don't want to wear out your only big man on the court as well. He's got a lot to do, especially on defense.
McKinney stops, puts it up, no good. Battle for the rebound, it's last touch by Alexander. There's going to be 14 seconds again on the shot clock of the Black Bears. What were your observations, TK, in the first quarter?
Yeah, it's the defense of the Singapore Slingers that were doing well, even though they've faded out a little bit towards the second quarter. But still, that's their calling card. That's what they've been doing well. And if they can continue to just lock McKinney down, the Macau Black Bears' chances of pulling out game 2 is not that high.
The Black Bears take the lead on that lefty lay-in by McKinney. Here come the Slingers. Spencer. Oh, he made the risk there of trying to slap that ball away. Alexander's spun got away, got the 2 points.
And that's a shot you can live with for the Macau Black Bears. David Alexander's not really known for pulling up for jump shots, maybe setting it up, but that's something you can live with.
And Liu Zihao has been looking for that three-pointer for quite some time now. It took him 5 attempts to get one in. Han Bin looking for a response, nothing there. Ball tap, it will be Macau basketball. Substitutions on the floor. Jaron Young after a quick rest. Less than 2 minutes of rest. We'll check back in. Take a look at this one more time. The release pass from Spencer after he was double teamed. Liu Zihao, all he had to do was put that shot in. And he did. 26-24, the lead for Macau. A turnover, the third time that there was miscommunication for the Black Bears.
And that was a good job hedging by John Fields. He just quickly came out, rushed out on Mike McKinney, and it just forced him into a difficult pass to Ryan Watkins, ending up in the turnover.
Both teams stepping up on defense. Fields forced a turnover, and on the other side, he was forced to one by Ryan Watkins. Would you say that there are similarities in the games of Watkins and Fields?
I'd say they're kind of different games. You see the Slingers kind of going to Fields in the post a bit more, while Ryan Watkins, he gets a lot of his points off offensive rebounds and putbacks. He leads the league in offensive rebounds, actually. So that's the differences of how they get their games going, but two premier big guys who put up big numbers nonetheless.
You feeling it now. And I guess that's also where the confidence of the Black Bears lies, in just taking all those three-point shots. They have the best offensive rebounder in the league as Alexander and Spencer get tied up.
Just kind of tussling down low there between Spencer and Alexander. Mark Spencer just trying to do everything to not let Alexander use his size advantage down in the paint.
I get curious sometimes with those situations because it takes a while before the referees blow their whistle. They kind of give some time for the two players to just quit just tangling each other up.
Well, in the end, basketball's a contact sport. You gotta let the players tussle up a little bit. You don't want to stop them from trying to be physical with each other. You just gotta let them play the game.
Foul committed here by the Black Bears. It will be on Mike McKinney as he made a swipe on that basketball. It will be his second foul.
Mike McKinney still not believing it, but it's a big call, his second foul. Again, for a guy who's doing so much for his team, you gotta watch out, you gotta manage his fouls well.
I think Mike McKinney also unhappy with his engagement with the official. Still kind of blaming, literally pointing a finger at the official. He's got to be careful. The last thing he wants to pick up right now is a technical foul, and maybe allow the momentum to swing towards the Singapore Slingers, because right now Macau is still up. McKinney asking for that basketball, almost lost, zigzagging. McKinney out to Liu. Now it's Jennings Liu. High off the glass, couldn't get the layup.
Pretty good flow there by the Macau Black Bears, though.
Alexander off the glass, no good. And that's going to be an offensive interference. I think the net was pulled, but the rim also was moving a little bit, and it was because of a tap from John Fields, and that's why it's going to be Macau basketball.
Yeah, and you've got to like what Macau's doing on offense so far. They're moving the ball really well, penetrating, kicking out. That's going to create an open shot sooner than later.
What a crossover there for McKinney, and that ball also bounced off of his foot.
Slingers have made it a priority to stop Mike McKinney, and they've been doing a pretty good job on making life difficult for him, whether he's trying to take a shot or trying to get inside the paint for a layup.
I'm telling you, arguably, Singapore has been the best in limiting Mike McKinney this entire season.
The Singapore Slingers, not only in limiting Mike McKinney, they're just one of the best defensive teams in the league, as they have been throughout all the years. It shows great coaching by Coach Neo, great coaching by assistant coach Michael Johnson as well, just how well prepared they are and how committed they are to what they want to run.
But defense there played by McKinney. Although the ball was recovered, Macau asking for a foul on Young. And McKinney will be whistled for his third foul. And a technical foul on Watkins.
A quick sequence there. A lot of frustration there by Mike McKinney for sure. From his expressions, he felt like he should have gotten a foul there earlier, came back running, and you gotta realize that you have 2 fouls already. You gotta handle that more better. Again, you are the war leader of this team right now. There's just too much at stake for these kind of ticky-tacky fouls.
Well, it was the same official that Mike McKinney was complaining about earlier. And what he was saying is that, you see the earlier sequence we showed where McKinney's legs were taken away from him, were taken from under him because of that slip from Young. And it was the same thing that happened in that very next play, but the foul was called on McKinney. And you know, everything right now is so crucial, especially that third foul of Mike McKinney, the leading scorer for the Macau Black Bears, the leading scorer of the league. And now he's gonna have to sit on the bench.
Yeah, the entire team, they've got to really cool their heads down a bit. The technical foul there on Ryan Watkins earlier. They're still in the lead in this game. They have to recognize that until that layup, but they still have to realize this is not a game that the Singapore Slingers are controlling. Just got to keep that in mind.
Or perhaps the Warwick Spencer will have to double up on his production right now with McKinney resting on the bench. Watkins, it's going to be a jump ball situation, and it will be Singapore basketball. All right, now frustration getting the better of the Black Bears. Even from the bench, you see assistant coach Matthias Fisher and even Anthony Tucker, who is on the injured list, sharing their thoughts. 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Fields. Kick out to Desmond O. 3-ball is good.
And once again, Desmond O, if he starts making those shots, you're really in big trouble.
That's a 6-0 run for the Singapore Slingers. Spencer to Watkins. They gave him some space. Watkins misses though. Forward pass to Fields. John Fields off the glass, no good. Great defense there. 3 white shirts standing in the way of Fields.
Yeah, great hustle there by Jending Leung just to come back, put a body in the way of John Fields, because it's just that much that he takes to stop him from getting straight in for the jam.
Under 5 minutes to play. 7 on the shot clock of Macau. Watkins needs to make a decision here. Only a second remaining. Puts it up before it expired, but doesn't get the shot to fall in. Young, oh, good strip there for Watkins. And he forces the turnover, and take a look at the risk that Coach Mu will be making here, redeploying Mike McKinney with about 4.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. McKinney has 3 fouls, and he's gonna try to play it out. Back with more ABL basketball in just a bit.
OK，所以 Mike 拿球高一点 ，B here， so drive out， 4号去掩护 ，walk go straight， 他可能去夹击 ，drive 在 corner， 你在 corner，OK， 你去掩护，你可以出去。走，来走，来走，走。
John Fields continues to lead the way for the Slingers with 10 points and 5 rebounds. And is shooting very well too. The story right now is the 3 fouls on Mike McKinney and how he's going to be able to hold up for the last 4 and 35 of this first half.
But you've got to bring him back at this point. I mean, like immediately the moment after he was benched, the Singapore Slingers went on a 6-0 run, and that's just the kind of impact that McKinney brings on the field on both sides of the court.
That is very true, and here he is right now, Mike McKinney, looking to go to work. Watkins waking up Foshan.
That's a statement play there. Great pass by McKinney, but more importantly, great cut by Ryan Watkins.
But they leave this window open. Lucky break for Macau as he did not make that three-pointer. Han Bin will try his own from the other corner. He will not miss.
Great 1 and 2 play there by Xavier Alexander, just getting the pass. And Han Bin stepping back out to his spot for the 3.
That's hurt. That's gotta hurt if you're Macau. You just make a big play that could wake the team up, and then you allow a three-pointer. Ball will stay right now with the Black Bears. Only 9 seconds on their shot clock.
Doric Spencer, though he's been a bit quiet here. As mentioned, he scored 10 points in the first quarter, but nearly 7 minutes through, has yet to score another point.
He'll be responsible for the inbound, gets it to McKinney. Mike stopping, one-hander, doesn't go. McKinney fighting hard, extra aggressive.
And he's got to watch out. He's got to remember he has 3 fouls right now.
Oh, good strip there for Spencer. Han Bin takes a hold of it. He misses, and Young gets blocked from behind, but it bounced off of Spencer out of bounds.
Trying to hustle around there by the Macau Black Bears, but they're leaving a lot of open shots for the Singapore Slingers to take right now from long range. And again, Han Bin, he's a great shooter. Just can't leave him open like that.
Young and McKinney getting tangled up. Watch out for those two. Getting extra physical. Young stands a couple of inches taller than McKinney. And Jaron Young getting that shot over McKinney.
Just adding more pain to McKinney, who's already struggling with the fouls. And sticking a jumper.
Yeah, I think they know McKinney's frustrated and they want to use that for advantage. Finally, 2 points for Spencer here in the second quarter, breaking his silence. 3 minutes remaining. 5-point lead, Singapore. Top of the key 3, Han Bin comes up short.
The balls have been just bouncing away so far off the rim for the Singapore Slingers. Just makes it a lot more difficult for Macau to get those defensive boards.
Yeah, you're right. 50-50 balls favoring the Slingers. And even that time where there were 2 Black Bears chasing the long rebound with no red shirts around them, they lose it.
And those are just tough breaks, and you really have to communicate better. Just a tough break by the Macau Black Bears. Time and over again, they're just struggling to keep the Slingers away from this side of the floor.
Alexander covering his ears. Pretty much just trying to get himself composed. He was frustrated about an on-call, but he knows he just has to move on. That's going to be a foul on Xavier Alexander. And he will be warned for slapping the arm of the Warwick Spencer. And now the warning is that if he does it again, it's going to be a technical foul. And assistant coach Michael Johnson just telling him, you got to move on to the next play.
Yeah, well, that was going on for a while down in the paint between Derek King and Xavier Alexander. That's a interesting move there by Coach Moo Jin Shin, actually, to put Derek King on Alexander. That was not the initial initial assignment from the start of the game, but something that might develop into his advantage.
2.5 minutes, and you're really feeling playoff basketball here, DK. Not a single player allowing the other team any sort of advantage. And Warwick Spencer to Watkins, down low to Liu Zihao. He will take a three-pointer, will miss. Everyone jumping for the rebound, ball tap loose. Jaron Young collects it. Singapore looking to go on the run again. Defense of Macau ready to counter there. Let's see what the Slingers do. Alexander against King. The strip by the Black Bears. McKinney getting away with a crossover. The finish with the right hand.
Great anticipation defense by Ryan Watkins on the weak side. And once again, right there, a careless pass by Xavier Alexander.
That's been the case for a couple of the passes that Singapore has thrown. King could not tie the game up. But almost another steal there for Macau. Bodies on the floor. Advantage right now for Singapore. Jaron Young escaping with a spin.
What a move there by Jaron Young. And Liu Zihao, he's got to do better. He was standing there already. Just got to be more prepared for a guy like Jaron Young who's attacking the basket.
McKinney looking to slice the defense out to Watkins. Liu will take it again. He has been off with his outside shots.
You like your local players to be confident, but at sometimes when it's not dropping, you really got to find a better way to get your offense going, because it's certainly not his night today.
And it's an offensive foul on Alexander. Derek King doing an excellent job at defending the X-Man, the leading scorer in ABL history. I think he's also gotten under the skin of Xavier, and that's why those extra pushes, extra physicality, well, that got 2 fouls on Alexander.
Yeah, and the Tides are starting to turn a little bit after that third foul by McKinney. Right now, Jaron Young and Alexander both with 2 fouls for the Singapore Slingers.
Watkins from outside. John gets sent back by Fields. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Spencer looking to make his move against Desmond No. Chan Jong Chan fakes away Xavier Alexander, the extra pass to King, and they will run out of time.
A little bit of too much passing by the Macau Black Bears. You know that you want the best shot for your team, but sometimes you gotta just settle for something that's best instead of a turnover like this.
And now the Singapore Slingers will have a chance to take the last shot in the first half. 13.7 seconds remaining. They pull out John Fields as they send in Levine Raj.
These are quality experience seconds for the youngster Levine Raj, just stepping into this ABL playoff atmosphere.
Alexander shoots over Leung, way short. And that will be the first half. Very tightly contested, very physical, very playoff-like. But at the end of 20 minutes of action inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center, it's the visiting team, the Singapore Slingers, up by 5, 37-32.
What makes a champion? Passion, grit, determination.
A challenge can make or break you. Work hard in silence. Let success be your noise.
Never stop, you can only get better. The only one that can hold you back is yourself.
I'm a warrior. I put my war paint on.
We are the composers of our own destiny. Nothing is out of reach if we dare to dream the impossible. Believe the unbelievable and never take no for an answer. Because greatness is in all of us, for we are all champions.
Hello everyone and welcome to ABL Basketball as we bring you the 2018-2019 playoffs quarterfinal action between the visiting 6th seed Macau Black Bears and the 3rd seed Singapore Slingers. We look at the bench of the Singapore Slingers as they are about ready to do battle with these visiting Macau Black Bears. As we said, Macau and Singapore have met 2 times already during the season. Macau Black Bears team, they are a good team, Scotty. They are very, very quick to the open court. The bad news for them, Anthony Tucker, their all-purpose guy, was really the engine of this team, is gone with a serious ankle injury. Xavier Alexander, obviously an MVP possibility, almost averages a triple-double. Delvin Go, one of the more improved players, local players in the league. Hope you're here at home and ready to enjoy. We're certainly here, so let's do it at the OCBC Arena.
That's Singapore at their best. Defense to offense. Xavier Alexander attacking the rim. Singapore has that advantage inside. It's awesome to see them playing in the paint here to start. That's Singapore's strength again, offensive.
What makes a champion? Passion, grit, determination.
A challenge can make or break you. Work hard in silence. Let success be your noise.
Never stop, you can only get better. The only one that can hold you back is yourself.
I'm a warrior. I put my war paint on.
We are the composers of our own destiny. Nothing is out of reach if we dare to dream the impossible. Believe the unbelievable and never take no for an answer. Because greatness is in all of us, for we are all champions.
everyone, and welcome to ABL Basketball as we bring you the 2018-2019 playoffs quarterfinal action between the visiting 6th seed Macau Black Bears and the 3rd seed Singapore Slingers. We look at the bench of the Singapore Slingers as they are about ready to do battle with these visiting the Macau Black Bears. As we said, Macau and Singapore have met 2 times already during the season. Macau Black Bears team, they are a good team, Scotty. They are very, very quick to the open court. The bad news for them, Anthony Tucker, their all-purpose guy, was really the engine of this team, is gone with a serious ankle injury. Xavier Alexander, obviously an MVP possibility, almost averages a triple-double. Delvin Go, one of the more improved players, local players in the league. Hope you're here at home and ready to enjoy. We're certainly here, so let's do it at the OCBC Arena.
That's Singapore at their best. Defense to offense. Xavier Alexander attacking the rim. Singapore has that advantage inside. It's awesome to see them playing in the paint here to start. That's Singapore's strength again. Offensive rebounding. 2nd in the league in rebounding at 42 a game.
Success hesitation move inside. Little double pump fake. Oh my, so smooth. Mike McKinney, as we said, led the league in scoring, 27.5 points per game. McKinney, you cannot give him any space whatsoever, so 26-20. Singapore going straight at the gut of the defense of Macau with a lot of success early on here. They lead by 8. Singapore Slingers lead it here at the OCBC Arena over the Macau Black Bears, 31-22.
John Fields beating Watkins down the floor again. A great rim run by him. He's 5 of 5 for the field now for 11 points. He's been dominant so far. 6 of 6 from the field.
Kinney with it right now. One of the bright spots, he and Watkins.
Yeah, that's a big run at the end of this first half here to get the ball, the points down to 5, 48-43.
Now a 3-point game.
Yeah, don't look now. 3-point game, like you said, Chuck. This is a big run by Macau Black Bears to end the first half.
That will do it. So Singapore will take the narrowest of leads into the dressing room. They lead 50-48. They led by as many as 10.
Now the intensity from Macau has definitely changed the second half. And you see the Slingers are a little bit timid right now offensively. They cannot have that against a team that is so potent offensively as Macau. What a start by the Macau Black Bears. And now they're playing that 5-out where everyone is a threat to score.
A wide open look downstairs again. Delvin Go, yes! And time again, Scotty, finding the mismatches downstairs. How good is Xavier Alexander?
You talked about Xavier Alexander before, the consummate triple-double.
Oh, what a final 10 minutes this is going to be from the OCBC Arena. We'll pick it up 74-68 in favor of the Slingers.
Again, Delvin rolling hard to the rim, and he knows his strengths. Everything's been at the rim for him for 18 points.
Still Alexander, blowing his way inside, finger roll, yes!
92 for Xavier Alexander, almost a triple-double now with 10 assists and 8 rebounds. Xavier Alexander goes on his mini 0-7-0 run, and now it's an 11-point game. Watkins really pursued the ball on the offensive end today, 23 points and 14 rebounds. A really good job getting that second jumper, second tip on the offensive rebound.
Not over yet, 9-point lead by Singapore. Gun on Ben lines it up. Oh! Off the glass and in. And that will be the dagger. But Singapore will win this. They will go on with the 1-0 lead to Macau. 102-91.
time here inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center in Foshan, China. Singapore Slingers up by 5. We're about to begin the third quarter, actually. Chutsulit and TK Sambun here delivering the action for you. It's ABL Season 9 quarterfinals. This is Game 2 of a best-of-3 series, which the Singapore Slingers lead 1-0. And so it's imperative for the Macau Black Bears to take a win here. Otherwise, the season ends for them.
And it just feels like a Slingers tempo game so far in this contest. None of the teams have really gotten their offensive going. The pace is real slow. The score, as you see, only 37 to 32. So this is really going towards the way of the men in red this game.
Let's see how Macau comes out of their huddle. Hustle there for Derek King. He gets the ball back, puts up a three-pointer, will not get it. Desmano being trapped here. And had the presence of mind to bounce it off of Watkins. Singapore will keep possession.
Good hustle there by the Macau Black Bears from the start for the Derek King. Slide over to get that ball. Misses the three, unfortunately, for the Macau Black Bears.
What's the one thing they really need to correct here if they want to get back in the game?
They just really need to assert their offenses more clearly. Liu Zhihao taking 9 shots is probably not the way you want your offense to go. He leads the team in attempts. McKinney's only taken 5 shots. Dewarick Spencer took 6 shots in the first half, and you've got to credit some part of that to the Singapore Slingers, but Coach Wu Jin has got to figure out ways to get a top score going.
Well, it looks like McKinney is ready to take over here in the third. Gets 2 points off of that beautiful move. But a quick response. Jaron Young breaking down the defense of Macau.
Good pass there by Desmond O from near the baseline, just into the paint. Just right position for Jaron Young to get an easy basket.
Spencer. Kick out pass. King. Foul shooting a 3. That's going to be freebies for Derek.
It's also the third foul on Jaron Young as well, and Jaron's been doing a good job defending on that side of the court. That's going to put a bit more pressure on Coach Neil Bensing in the spot.
These free throws will be very important. Actually, all the points you can get for both teams. So 8.5 minutes remaining. King actually in the first half played very good defense on Xavier Alexander, but in the second period, the X-Man found his groove already, and he finished the first half with 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's just incredible.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Derek King playing good defense, and now when you have that kind of assignment that's going, you gotta kind of get him going on offense as well to make most of his value of the time on the court.
Fields looking for teammates. Oh, the runner. Difficult shot there. Alexander, another rebound for him, muscles his way in. He got fouled as Watkins also swatting the ball away. That's one thing you want to do. Even if the foul was whistled already, find a way to stop what could be 2 points for an opponent.
Still, Derek King called with foul. It's going to get harder for him to take on Alexander as the game goes through. As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Alexander averaging the most minutes per game this year, around 39.5. That's barely a breather on the bench.
That's 30 seconds of rest every game.
Yeah, and you're going up a guy who's used to playing the whole game. You got to be really prepared, be conditioned to go up against that.
And if games could just go on longer, then Xavier would tell you he's still willing to play more. That's the kind of guy he is. Nice pass from McKinney. And time finishing with flair. 7.5 minutes remaining. In the third quarter, it's only a 3-point lead. Low scoring affair here in Foshan, China, favoring the Slingers. Alexander stopped there. Jan doing his job. Ball being tapped. Watkins says, let me get that. McKinney, quick explosion. The block from behind. Fields saying, no, no, no.
Surprisingly, John Fields with a straight face after this block usually one not shy to show his emotions after a monster rejection like this one.
He had both of his hands on that shot. Watkins gets the offensive rebound and the putback.
What a rebound there by Ryan Watkins, just tapping it once to himself, and that's why he's the leading offensive rebounder in this league.
Young trying to go to Alexander, guarded by King. And Xavier was fouled there.
That's an easy call by the refs. Derek King just caught Alexander a bit off guard, a bit unbalanced, and just go sprawling to the floor.
Yeah, well, if you're the defender, you're going to want to give up that short bump. But then you got to catch an offensive player where he has balance. Because otherwise, he falls like what happened to Alexander, and you get caught for a foul.
But then the thing that was happening is that the Slingers were going down to the paint to Xavier Alexander continuously, so Derek King was expecting a lot of contact on the bump and maybe retaliated a little bit too early.
Young getting creative, nothing there. Another stop for Macau. They can take a lead in this possession. Spencer trying to get it to Watkins. Was the ball tapped? No, it wasn't, so it's going to be Singapore basketball.
Slightly difficult pass there by Spencer. There's too many bodies in the paint already. Even if Ryan Watkins got the ball there, it wouldn't have been an easy shot nonetheless.
6:40 left in the third. Alexander, goal. Now they're swinging it, ball with Young. Jaron trying to keep his dribble. Had to pass out to Kelvin Go. Desmond saving the day for Singapore.
That hurts once again for the Macau Black Bears. They did a good job of stopping Jaron Young. Already had him on the floor, but the ball just went on to Desmond O, and another three-pointer for the veteran Cards.
That was a crazy sequence. How about this? McKinney couldn't put in the three. Young. Straight to the basket. Had bad intentions. He had bad intentions there. The problem now for Macau is McKinney will be whistled for his fourth foul.
And that's a big deal, as we've been saying how important McKinney is. But imagine if that had went in, though.
Look at how far back Jaron Young cocked it. It would have been it could have been a highlight of the year.
No doubt that would have been one of the best posters you've seen in recent history in the ABL, actually.
It's one of those posters or photos. You snap that at the right time. It doesn't matter if the dunk went in or not. It would have been a golden picture.
Well, we hope that some of the photographers here were able to get that.
Young, however, missing on both free throws. Under 6 minutes, missing on one free throw, rather. McKinney, straight to the basket, couldn't get the layup.
John Fields there not liking the contact, giving a bit of a stink eye.
He got hit on the nose, and I think everyone who has played basketball had that happen to them at least once, and you know it's not easy. It does hurt when you get hit in that soft bone. McKinney drops the first free throw. Deficit down to 4. Second one in as well for Mike McKinney. He's got 12 points, along with the 4 fouls that he's trying to protect. Young starting the offense with him. Obi bothered by you. And look at how aggressive Singapore is trying to go to Jaron Young. Understanding McKinney has 4, but Young says, I don't care. I'm making this tough shot.
There's 2 players sprawling at him on defense, reaching out their hands. Doesn't matter anyways.
McKinney getting away. And one opportunity for Mike McKinney.
McKinney starting to take over, starting to take the offense into his own hands. Again, in the first half, he took only 6 attempts, if I recall correctly. Right now, already 3 to start here in this second half. Just 5 minutes in. So he's starting to look for his own points right now.
Player substitutions here for Macau. Liu Ziao will check back in for Chan Jong Chan. 5:14 remaining in the third. Anything is so very possible in this game, but it's a matter of emotions being held in control, especially for Mike McKinney, who has been frustrated. Well, he's sort of cooled down here in the third quarter, but not that sort foul.
Right now, the smart move by the defense to get McKinney on Desmond O instead. He's not going to have to contact players that much. And let's see there, Nathan Yu drawing a foul on Jared Young. Imagine if that was Mike McKinney, how big of a call that would have been.
That's very, very true. And McKinney's still complaining to the referee about something. He is very unhappy about something. Oh, his Black Bears only down by 2, 47-45. Yeah, a timeout on the floor.
Hey, these are the spots on the field where we watch on film, and everybody was like, oh shit, we're only down 2 points. This is it, right now.
Hey guys, one down, alright? Now is in, okay? We have a shooter, shot, or look inside, okay? You have the ball and you are in the corner. They cannot help you weak side. If they help, we skip it to you and you have a wide open shot or drive, okay? If this is not working, fist up. I want them fist up. I want them fist up. He with the ball. Then you run to him, okay? And when he reaches, you swing the ball quickly and you go one-on-one. Alright? Without screen. To Mike. Okay? And then you beat him one-on-one. Shooter. Okay? Quick pass, one-on-one. Alright? Hey, needs a rebound.
Jaron Young has been a big factor here, especially in the third quarter. Most importantly, because of the fouls that he has drawn on that man, Mike McKinney. And oh boy, what incredible performance we're seeing here for both teams, actually.
But yeah, as you mentioned, Jaron Young, his presence has been felt on those fouls in LeBron. He's not doing that well from the floor, only 6 points, 3 of 11, making his first free throw right there. Also has 9 rebounds, but his presence of just having the ball and being a threat to attack has drawn so many fouls from the Slingers.
And Young gets the free throw there. Easy out, double team. Release pass, Spencer from way outside, gets his own rebound. Stops by the free throw line and off the J.
Lucky bounce there by the Macau Black Bears. Just a long rebound. Able to add some more points, chipping into the lead.
4.5 minutes remaining in the third. Only a 2-point game here, favoring the Slingers. They go back down low to Young. He has been their focal point on offense here. It moves like that, and it has been bread and butter for Jaron Young.
That's got to be tough on Nathan Yu coming into this game midstream and just having to defend a guy like Jaron Young.
Hasn't been easy. That ball tapped out of bounds by the Slingers. Liu will take another 3. This time gets it to fall. Only his second make in 12 attempts.
Still just the confidence to keep on taking those shots.
John Fields though, the long 2 there.
Instant reply by the Slingers, probably getting lulled by the constant attacking of Jaron Young. John Fields left wide open.
Watkins couldn't get the jam. McKinney out of nowhere gets it to fall on the putback. Oh, Alexander carrying the entire Macau defense to the basket. How about that quick attack of Singapore coming off that big bucket for McKinney.
Just trying to catch teams off guard here. Ryan Watkins, though, attacking John Fields instantly once he gets the ball in the paint. And those two are starting to bash it up a little bit down low.
I think that was miscommunication on the defensive end for the Singapore Slingers. That's the second consecutive time that Macau has gone with that McKinney and Watkins pick and roll. And unfortunately for them, second time that didn't really immediately result to a bucket.
Going back to the missed dunk earlier by Ryan Watkins, we've seen two really
I was thinking the same time.
Big time missed dunks today in this game.
It has to be because of the tough defense that these two teams have played with. 3 minutes left in the third, only a 1-point lead enjoyed by the guys in red. They go back to Young. Oh, the step back. Jaron Young erased Liu Zihao, but his shot bounced to the backboard. To the back of the board, rather.
Just quick movements there by Jaron Young. And Liu Zihao, he just doesn't have the speed to cover. If a guy like Mike McKinney or Nathan Yu is going to be shaken off by Jaron Young with those moves, a guy like Liu Zihao is not going to stand a chance.
Spencer to Liu. Here's the Warwick making his move. Stopping, involving his teammates. McKinney. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Fall away. McKinney, nothing there. Two white shirts. Liu Zihao with a rebound. No. Watkins gets stopped by Han Bin.
A lot of activity down the paint. Good hustle by both Liu and Ryan Watkins to eventually corral those offensive boards. They're going to get 2 free throws out of it.
And another opportunity for Macau to take the lead. Watkins will not be able to do that as he misses his first free throw. One more for him, maybe tie the game up at least. He does so. Delvin Go checks back into the game.
Good planning here by Coach Neumann, saying he knows this is going to be grinded out in the fourth quarter. Taking the opportunity to kind of rest John Fields here in the final minutes of the third quarter.
And that's not a luxury that Macau can enjoy with what you've been mentioning throughout this broadcast. That Watkins is practically their only big. And he had to come out after the defense was faked out with that pump fake rather, for Han Bin, eventually sinking a three-pointer.
That's great patience there by Han Bin, just knowing, recognizing what is his shot, what are his strengths, and it pays off with three.
Watkins trying to go to work, wiped away Han Bin, but couldn't get the hook.
Han Bin's gonna get warned there a bit for the floppy motion.
Good strip there for Watkins. McKinney pushing the basketball. Yu from the outside, nothing there.
Good setup there by the Macau Black Bears, getting Nathan Yu an open shot.
1 minute and 10 remaining in the third quarter. Lim now to Young. Jaron will take it from outside, will not get it to go. Spencer calmly taking the ball down, under a minute left in the third. Asking for the horns play, but it's only Watkins coming up to set the screen. McKinney versus Lim. He's loving that matchup. Oh, down low to Watkins. Ryan Watkins finishes through the foul. Will have a chance for the bonus. Another chance at tying the game up.
Great movement there by Ryan Watkins. He could have gone the other way to the left side of the paint. Instead, he just came right back, was able to draw contact and got another foul.
Beautiful move there for Watkins, and it has been their resiliency and their recognition that there is no John Fields on the floor and there's an opportunity for Ryan to go to work. And he ties the game up. Let's see what the Singapore Slingers can come up with here. Unbid down on the floor, almost a turnover. Alexander against Spencer, wayward attempt. Battle for the loose ball, Spencer down on it. A foul will be called. It's gonna be on Hanbin, I believe. And there's a saying, TK, they say, first on the floor, first to the ball.
And right there, it pays off though, man. You just gotta love this kind of atmosphere, just bodies currently putting it on to get possession. It's playoff atmosphere. And it's only the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. Well, it is the quarterfinals, but as early as now, Macau in danger of losing everything they've worked hard for 5 months. And this is the thing about the ABL. It's a long season, we understand. We even extended it to 26 elimination round games. But then in 2 games, you let up, you lose, and all the hard work goes down the drain. And that's what Macau and Mike McKinney are trying to make sure doesn't happen here in Foshan.
That's the hard knocks of basketball. I mean, it's just cultivation of the whole season, the work you put in. Just can't see it as just these 2 games. Those are just some tough stretches and the tough luck of basketball.
Young now, backing down. Jaron Young couldn't get the bounce. Couple of seconds left. Alexander right in the nick of time. Xavier Alexander making sure Singapore keeps the lead with the 3rd quarter done. Take a look at this, the littlest of space. It was all he needed to get that reverse in. Boy, what a shot, TK.
Just a great move there by Xavier Alexander. He settled himself there in the paint, was using the rim as protection for his layup. Gives his team a 1-point advantage heading into the final interval.
Or you can beat him here, okay? Another good idea is training, okay? We must execute this pick and roll good, okay? Now it's not shooting, that's it. Hands off, fight, penetration, okay?
10 minutes remaining in this game here in Foshan, China. These could be the last 10 minutes in the season of the Macau Black Bears. Or they can find a way to overcome this deficit and extend this to a Game 3.
Yeah, the Singapore Slingers, one thing they've been doing really well this game is shooting from long range. 6 of 16 might not seem like a lot, but by the standards of how the Slingers are shooting this season, they got 3 threes from Desmond Owen. That's a benefit that they'll enjoy.
Watkins down on the floor, Macau running, Liu Zihao loses it. It crashes into a group of photographers. He's okay. He's back on his feet, and it's gonna be Macau basketball.
See, they're just going strong to the basket with quick hands. Quick hands by Jaron Young to just slightly tap it away.
Yeah, it was actually very good defense for Young. Well, that's what he has been. I think he should be one of the leaders in the race for the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, with the physical tools that he has, just quick hands, leaping abilities, everything. He can be a lockdown defender against anyone in this league. And he's shown it in stretches here in this game when he's assigned to do so.
Here we go, 20 seconds on the shot clock of Macau. McKinney has it against Desmondo. Spins to the baseline. The step back, the jumper wet.
That is just cold for a guy with quick feet and known for his defense like Desmondo. Just to shake him off so easily must be a bit of a shock to the Slingers.
How about that hop from Young? Referees rule it a bit too much. They call it a travel. You be the judge here, TK. What do you think?
Kind of didn't land cleanly on his way into the basket.
You know, it's always tricky because there are moves that have been developed with what you see with him. He went up with the right foot and then landed on it too.
And these guys move so fast.
Oh, and this could be a crucial foul committed by Liu Zihao. It's an unsportsmanlike foul.
It's not the best game for Luciao here. He's not scoring. He's not making his shots on that end, and it's just not a good play. Trying to stop Jaron Young.
Well, the rule is you have to go for that basketball, and seems like even on that replay that he did not go for it. I thought it was the right call for it to be an unsportsmanlike foul. His teammates did not even contest the call. It was just Liu Zihao asking for their officials for an explanation why it was.
Hey, you're in the playoffs, right? These calls are being made throughout the entire regular season against everyone and anyone on every team. So you just can't. You've got to really study these kind of calls and these kind of plays and know what to do and what you can do and what you can't do in these kind of situations.
1 point lead for Singapore. Alexander! The weights room work coming to life.
Bulldozing his way through the paint there. It doesn't look pretty the way he finishes it off, but he gets it done.
Spencer getting away using the left hand, rolls it in. Now, this game really getting physical. It usually happens on off-ball movements, off-ball plays.
Jaron Young there. Cold jumper staring down at Jenny Young on the way back down on defense.
Young is really steady, has been that throughout this entire tournament. Liu Zihao hitting it when it matters. Ties the game up at 66.
He's shooting at that rate. I might have to take it back about how it's been a bad night for him.
Clearly an offensive foul for Fields. Wiping away Liu. Fields saying it was a flop. But he, even after the collision, he walked right into the position of Liu. That will be whistled an offensive foul every single time he does that.
He really knew he didn't contest it that much. And two big possessions on both sides of the floor for Liu Zihao right now.
McKinney, Watkins open. You have to love the eyes and the quick response of Mike McKinney every time he sees an opening.
Just a quick pass there down low. Also credit Ryan Watkins for knowing that he's going to be fouled right there. The set of mind to just put up a quick shot, and we'll see if he gets 2 free throws out of this though.
The thing though is there's blood on the lip of Ryan Watkins, and that will force Macau to replace him, to sub him out. And this could be a big development. But this is a good move for Macau. Instead, they call a timeout, so at least that gives them a chance to see if they can get the blood to stop, and maybe Watkins will not have to be subbed out of this game. We'll be back with more of the ABL quarterfinals. Don't go anywhere.
Young is trying to take the ball in his hands. Every time he runs the pick and roll, we need a hard stunt. let him take the ball away. You take him hard, don't let him take this middle jumper. Alright? Then, 当你注意掰了 ，fake go back， 就是防备人要自己追哈。OK， 给我再喝点水。Get something wrong.
Yeah, it's a foul.
Yeah, he's shooting.
Back inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center, we have a good one for you. It's game 2 of the quarterfinals in a best-of-3 series between Singapore and Macau. It is tied up at 66. And Ryan Watkins, I thought it was very smart of Macau to call a timeout when Watkins had to be subbed out because he had blood on his lip. Now they got to attend to that with that stoppage, and here he is shooting free throws and giving the lead back to Macau.
And that would have been a big deal indeed if Ryan Watkins had to go to the bench. He hasn't taken a single second off in this game, and that might have disrupted the flow that right now has gotten Macau Black Bears in the lead by 1 point.
Ball lost out of bounds, last touch on Spencer. During the timeout, there was still a discussion between John Fields and the officials on, well, there was that explanation on the foul listed on him earlier. Here's Alexander, blocked by Watkins. Second try, Desmano from outside, no. Leo grabbing that rebound, Macau off and running. McKinney to Liu. From deep, no good. Jennings another board. Now McKinney will slow things down for the Black Bears.
Great play by the backcourt of the Macau Black Bears here, just attacking aggressively.
Here's Leung. Also missing from outside. Couple of missed opportunities there for the Black Bears. Zihao in charge of guarding Young. Fields will take the mid-range J, too strong. With the rebound, lands back in his hands. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Young will ask for help from Fields. Jaron, hand on his face, way off.
That didn't seem like a pretty good shot by Jaron Young. Just didn't even create enough space. Separation off the dribble and kind of forced into that shot.
Watkins to spin. Follow-away J from about 6 feet. That's good. That forces Coach Neil Benjen to call a timeout. Macau has taken a 3-point lead here in the 4th quarter. 6:28 to go. Will Macau hold on and extend this to a game 3? We'll find out. Don't go anywhere. More ABL when we return. It's excitement, it's anxiety, it's tension, it's entertaining. It's ABL basketball here in the playoffs, quarterfinals action between Singapore and Macau. You're gonna want to watch the ending of this battle. I thought for most of the TK, it felt like Singapore was controlling the tempo, the pace, and the action. But Macau doing enough to take a 3-point lead with about 6.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and the way the game has been played, a 3-point lead seems like a pretty big deal with how both of the teams have been playing defense and how difficult it has been to score on the other side.
Singapore coming off a timeout. Can they produce some positives here? Young taking the pick from Han Bin. Han Bin, cross court to Desmano. A second remaining, Young open. No good. Spencer getting the rebound. And look at him save that possession, making sure no one gets to it, even though he lost his footing.
Good move by the Black Bears to kind of slow it down. As you mentioned, 3 points in this kind of tempo game is a pretty big deficit.
But Spencer misses the floater. On Bin to tie the game up. No! McKinney with the rebound. It's going to be a big one for him.
Suddenly the Slingers look like they're losing control of their own offense, rushing into shots.
Spencer, another miss for him. He had a clean look at that as Desmond was trying to just put a body in front of the Warwick. Nonetheless, the Black Bears still on top by 3. Delvin Go will replace Han Bin. Mike McKinney with 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists. Young slicing. His pass deflected by Spencer. It was taken away, but will stay with Singapore.
Singapore seems a bit rattled by how Macau has defended Jaren Young, because they were going to Jaren Young for their offense here in the second half, and he's doing a better job of trying to lock him down maybe a little bit too aggressively here, but nonetheless just disrupting the offensive flow.
What they're hoping to do, Macau, is really deny Jaren Young, and as he tried to go through that little space there, Leong, you see him there, it's a push. A foul called on Jennings. (69-66) still. Score hasn't moved in about a minute and a half. And like you said earlier, low-scoring games aren't really Macau's thing. But at least right now, they're doing enough to stay afloat, to stay on top. Alexander, the spin. He draws the foul on Spencer.
And that's a mismatch that I feel like the Slingers have been having recently, but haven't been going to as much. The Warwick Spencer not really a strong specimen going up against a guy like Xavier Alexander. You want to see them try to go that a bit more.
Oh, Xavier Alexander is a walking bucket. He can really produce points. And that's why he's the leading scorer in ABL history. And he was also big in game 1.
And that there is where he gets a load of his points as well from the charity stripe.
Yeah, that's right.
Such a foul magnet. He just goes strong to the basket, able to draw fouls. And he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well at times.
Alexander makes 2 for 2. Deficit down to 1. 69-68 in favor of the home team, Macau. McKinney has been nursing 4 fouls since the 3rd period. Spencer trying to attack the baseline. The Warwick release fast to Yuzi Hao. To McKinney. Mike. No good. Would have been big. Singapore's turn. They can take advantage once again. Alexander getting the bounce, getting the lead.
Heavy roll there from Xavier Alexander. Is boasting a little bit about after knocking that shot, as he should. He's now in the lead.
McKinney misses on the floater. That's the 3rd good look that Macau has missed in the 4th.
2 straight misses from McKinney as well. He's shooting 50%, but those are shots that he usually makes.
Hard foul committed by Watkins trying to stop John Fields in his attack to the basket.
I'd say a pretty good foul by Watkins. He only has 1, and that being his 2nd so far, so he has something to give, and that was a wide open lane where John Fields is ready to throw it down, stopping Fields of getting 2 easy points.
Let's just talk about how these teams got to where they are right now. The Singapore Slingers finished 3rd in the elimination round with a 16-10 record, while the Macau Black Bears ended up at 6th seed with a 14-12 slate. And, well, right now, the opponent, the possible opponent for either of these 2 teams in the semifinals is the Hong Kong Eastern, who Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is the Hong Kong Eastern who pulled drug from under the defending champions, San Miguel Ala Pilipinas, sweeping the defending champs.
Well, that's why the Hong Kong Eastern are a defending champion themselves.
Yeah.
Losing 2 seasons ago. They're very well coached by Edu Torres. They have good key shooters surrounding guys like Marcus Elliott, Darian Bassett to set them up. So they were coming in as one of the contenders ever since the start of the season. A little bit of a dry spell here and there, and that's why they dropped down so low. But you can't count them out ever for a team that's coached by Coach Edu Torres.
It was revenge for Coach Edu Torres and the Long Lions, and Hong Kong Eastern, because it was Ala Pilipinas who dropped them in Season 8 of the ABL. A miss, a crucial one for Liu Zihao. He hit a couple of big ones too here in the 4th quarter, but he can't afford mistakes anymore.
Right now the Slingers are on a 6-0 run, tying their biggest run in the game, and looking to make it 8.
John Fields not getting it. Almost a tip in there. Did not work for Singapore. Spencer caught in no man's land. They kick out to Liu. Now it's McKinney. Bothered by Young. Mike McKinney trying to create some space. Watkins, free throw jumper is good.
Calmly knocking it down, and McKinney created that space there by drawing in so many defenders.
That's assist number 13 for Mike McKinney. Desmano picks his dribble up, had to pass out to Young. Alexander against Liu Zihao. Fields will take it. Almost there. Oh, rebound taken by McKinney. He's running. Young from deep. No! May have been a bit ambitious on that three-pointer.
Still, that was an open shot. He had to take that.
Oh, what a block there for Liu Zihao. Saved what would have been easy 2 points for Singapore. Macau will reset their offense. 10 on the shot clock. McKinney making his move. Gets away. Gets the lefty lay-in. Flush the stare down.
Big bucket there by Mike McKinney, getting him the lead. What a slashing move that was just to get in the paint. Throw some contact as well. Gets the team the lead.
It's winning time in Foshan, China. Under 2 minutes remaining. Young. Jumper is good.
Wow, ice cold jumper by Jaron Young. Right in the face, in the grill of Mike McKinney, just answering the favor on the other end.
19 points for Young. 21 for McKinney. He misses on that tough shot. Alexander to Young. Good defense played there by Macau. The Black Bears hit the brakes. Spencer drops the three! Warwick Spencer puts the Black Bears up by 2.
Put in a mental thought of how Warwick Spencer has not been as aggressive to get his shots in this game. But right there, just proving me wrong. The clutch shot.
What a series of events here in the 4th quarter. This is what ABL basketball is all about. The block here for Liu Zihao, making sure Fields doesn't get the dunk, and then Warwick Spencer getting money on the three, putting the Black Bears up by 2 points, 76-74. But there is still a minute and 9 seconds left on that clock, and that is an eternity of basketball, as many would say, because indeed it is, it will be. But boy, TK, it has been crazy here.
Both teams is going back and forth and trading big-time baskets. The layup by McKinney on one end, Jared Young is dropping a full jumper on the other. And right now, both teams are just pulling everything out of the bag. Singapore Slingers want to advance it right here and right now. They don't want to risk it and take another one to go home. And as we were saying, Macau Black Bears in a quarter They're scratching their way through, looking to force a game 3.
Warwick Spencer with 20 points. That man Brewer screens. Sharon Young with 19 big ones, paired with 12 rebounds and a lot of highlight plays. But Mike McKinney fighting for dear life. He leads all scorers from Macau with 21 points. He also has 13 assists. He is the heart and soul of this squad. Ryan Watkins trying to help his cause. Singapore down by 2. Alexander attacking, hanging, getting the bucket. Savior Alexander, the savior of Singapore.
What a move by Alexander. Macau Black Bears, they're caught sleeping a little bit and just enough of a lane. Alexander just drive in, draw contact, and how did he even make that layup?
You know, if you know the game of Savior Alexander, the last thing you want to do is allow him a couple of steps to gather, because he can do wonders when he gets that momentum towards the basket and he silences the crowd. This entire stadium by evening up the count at 76 all for the lead. Alexander. Yes.
Cold free throw there by Xavier Alexander. Silencing the crowd that was once rowdy just only a few minutes ago, heading into the timeout.
This fourth quarter has been insane, especially the last 3 minutes of it. 1:02 remaining, 77-76. Only a 1-point lead for the Slingers. Can Macau find a way to force game 3, or will it be a rematch of the 2017 finals of the ABL, Singapore versus Hong Kong, in the semifinals of Season 9. Spencer looking for teammates. McKinney comes out to get it. 10 on the 24.
That's where you want the ball to go to.
McKinney has to work some magic, and Mike McKinney provides.
Mike being like Mike there with the layup up and under.
Half a minute remaining. 10 on the 24 for Singapore. They want it with Alexander, but a foul called. A foul called on Leung, holding on to the X-Men on that entry pass. That will be 2 free throws for Savior Alexander.
And yeah, that's a good call there. The Slingers were setting that up. They moved everybody to the right side of the floor and trying to set up the X-Man on an island with Jenny Leon. Draws a foul.
But Alexander misses the first free throw. But if you're Macau, you have to box out properly. Remember what happened in Mono versus Formosa. A missed free throw and a putback, a tip-in.
Yeah, well, the Slingers have trust in Xavier Alexander. They're leaving John Fields at midcourt.
Alexander ties the game up. 25.7 seconds remaining. In my head, TK, I feel like the Macau Black Bears will try to make sure that they take the last shot of regulation at least.
Yeah, they want to end it here in regulation. They do not want to go, especially with McKinney already shouldering 4 fouls. They want to finish it here and now.
Savior Alexander has been the savior of the Singapore Slingers for many seasons now, has brought them to the finals, but the championship has eluded them many times already. But Savior trying to tow his Singapore Slingers as far as he can bring them. But Mike McKinney, he says, not just yet. I still got 4 to give. I'm not about to see my season end here. Tied game, 78 apiece, 25.7 seconds remaining here in Foshan, China. hang on to your seats, folks. We got a good one, a classic finish, bound to happen inside the GBA International Sports and Cultural Center.
Coming in right here, you expect Macau Black Bears to go to Mike McKinney. As you mentioned, he's the heart and soul of the team. You see it on the screen. He's the guy who's done everything, gotten everything going, but look out for if they pull a curveball and somehow set up Warwick Spencer. Again, he had a clutch shot earlier.
Yeah.
And the Slingers should be prepared for that as well.
You can't go wrong. McKinney with 23 points, Spencer with 20, Ryan Watkins with 20 as well. Ball starts with Spencer. Being bothered by Young. Less than 2 second separation between the shot clock and game clock. McKinney gets a hold of that basketball. Asks Watkins to step back. McKinney making his attack now. McKinney gets it in! Magic Mike delivers!
Mike McKinney, this is just a summary of the season that he has been having with the Macau Black Bears.
But hang on, because there's still 0.8 of a second remaining for Singapore to come up with something. But McKinney, there was not a split second in that possession that he was not in full control of the situation.
Oh yeah, Mike McKinney just driving right there. There was no doubt that he was going to take that shot. Just the confidence, floating it in. Mike McKinney, you just gotta love what he's done with this team, how he's put him on his shoulders, overcoming the injury of Anthony Tucker, and right now putting them into a position to extend their season a bit more longer. One more game.
The fans inside this stadium in Foshan, China, starting to come to life. They are feeling this win already, but the Black Bears will need to be aware of this attack. One final shot at entering the semifinals tonight for the Singapore Slingers. What do you expect from this possession?
And the Slingers, they've got two really big guys. You see John Fields at the free throw line. I think that they could go at a lob attempt right now.
Interesting, it's Alexander with the inbound. Young for the win! Almost! But the Macau Black Bears hang on and extend this series to a Game 3. Wow, what a finish here in Foshan. Incredible basketball. Mike McKinney, how many times has he served as the savior, the winner, the winning factor for the Black Bears?
Well, yeah, just picking up after Anthony Tucker serving an injury. He knew that he would have to shoulder the Macau Black Bears into this stretch. He's just been doing such a good job, and this is just the cultivation of Mike McKinney as the star of the Macau Black Bears.
25 big points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists. And remember what we said, what we laid down top of the coverage, that he has not shot 50% from the field in any of the games against Singapore. That last layup got him flat at 50% here, and they get their first win over the Slingers.
Just the way the basketball gods work, and we're just glad that we're gonna see 40 more minutes of action between these two teams in Singapore.
I wouldn't be surprised if we need more than 40, TK. But that about does it for us here in Foshan, China. Congratulations to the Macau Black Bears for taking game number 2. We will have game 3 between Macau and Singapore over at the OCBC Arena in Singapore. That does it for my partner, TK Kusambun, for the entire crew, the hardworking men and women of the ABL. This is John Sudit saying thank you for watching, good night, and we'll see you in Singapore for game 3.
Hey!